Hello and welcome to English M01A Summer 2018 edition. This is Professor Gifford and I will be leading you through the exciting compositional challenges of English 101 or Freshman English. I'd like to show you a couple of the things that we're going to do right off the bat, and I'm going to try to give you pretty much a weekly digest version of what we are doing and a screenshot so that you can see what it looks like from my perspective. Now, sometimes the page will look a little bit different because you are students and I am the instructor. However, the actual tasks and the way they need to be explained, they will stay the same. So if you have a different color scheme or if you have something different in the way it submits the assignment for you, just realize that that is just a small technical issue. What I want to make certain is that you have comprehension of all of the tasks that are assigned to you. Every week you are doing the tasks for class. So let's start off with the easiest thing. This is the pleasure of my company audio. I got the first MP3 download disc of Pleasure of My Company, and there are 6 discs. So I put it up here just to give you a taste of what it's like listening to the author read his own work. This is Steve Martin. It's kind of modern, it's intellectual, kind of stream of consciousness in a way, and I think you will enjoy it. But one way to get into it is, of course, listening to the author read his own work. It's also contemporary. I don't want you to think that this is going to be something where you have to read about something that happened 2,000 years ago or 500 years ago or something that happened when there was a plague or something like that. No, this is all happening in Santa Monica, California, pretty much in current time, although it's probably about 15 years ago. Was when it was published, so it's almost modern. And the problems are those of a modern human being going through a technological society. I think you'll like it. Then I have just a simple writing essay introductions handout, basically, and this just gives you the basics of how to start with your introductions. What does it look like? What does an introductory paragraph look like? And how to get through writing an introductory paragraph, how to get to your interesting topic as quickly as you possibly can, and inform people in the last sentence of the introduction what the thesis is, and that is where the thesis belongs, is the last sentence of the introduction. But there's just a little bit of a introduction to introductions, let's just call it. I know. It's only so much fun. Weekly journals. This is something you're going to be doing weekly, and so you'll notice it is due on August 10th. Well, I can forget about that for the next month or so. No, please don't. Each one of the journals goes along with one of the lessons that we're learning or comprehension of rhetoric modes we're learning for that week. And so if you start now, you can get from week 1 to week 2 to week 3, and hopefully each of these things, the first is about investigation. How do you get information from an interview? And I'm not expecting you to interview very often in class, but I do want to introduce you to different modes of research because some of you are missing these modes. You are just going straight into the paper and writing off the top of your head. And at this level, I want you to investigate all of the things that you're writing about. Become experts in them, be able to explain them from an expert's point of view that's not your own, and then analyze them. And so all of this starts with journals, you ask? Yes, it does start with journals. Let's take a quick look. In the journal section, you will see that you will need to number them numerically. Not sure if that's the best idea. Maybe you should just number them. Journal 1, Journal 2, Journal 3, and so forth. You will also need to comment on 2 other students. Now, when I say 2 other students, that doesn't mean you have to follow the same students, although I would love to create a community of learners that do look at each other's work, and that way when you post, somebody's waiting for you to post a little bit so they can get to know more about you. That's a lovely thing. If you care about the people that you are working with, you are more likely to stick to the task. You're more likely to stick to in the class. There's less people that drop out when they feel like they're engaged with other people in the class. And so I do want you to stay with 2 people, but don't worry about it. I know that at some point somebody's going to post late or they're going to drop the class. If you need to, you can always change the people you follow. You're going to comment 100 words on 2 students each week. And you're going to write a 300-word journal for yourself each week. What are the topics? Here we go. Journal 1, interview a family member about their first job. Oh, I remember my first job. I was a newspaper delivery boy from the age 11 to 16. Yes, I was the person that got up back when that was a job for young people, and I got on my bike, and I had a basket that was attached to the front of my bike. I'm not going to bore you with this, but I do want you to know I could definitely go through 300 words, and I'm asking you to post them every Monday, starting June 25th. Is that today? No, that's a week from today. Oh, good, because I was worried that was today, but it's not. So, describe a moment when you lack control. One thing that someone had a problem with once was brush with danger. Brush with danger simply means that you thought you were in danger, but you really weren't. I don't want to hear about something that was really traumatic in your life, but I wouldn't mind hearing about something where you thought there was something dangerous coming towards you or in your life, and at that point, how did you feel? How did you react? What was it about the moment that made you feel like you were in danger? Now let's get to the actual points. Each week we can have 2 assignments because you notice 8-week summer class, you're going to have roughly twice as many assignments a week as a 16-week semester class. So you're going to have 2 assignments this week, one of which is the discussion assignment. This comes from the book, The Bridge, and I've asked you some questions that you need to relate through on the bridge. One is about whether Twitter is a modern diary, and you can reflect on that and tell me in some kind of intellectually complicated way whether or not you believe that putting your thoughts out there in small bursts like Twitter makes you somehow beholden to the world, or whether you are trying to manipulate the world. I don't know. Maybe Twitter is not really a diary as much as it is kind of a cry for help. But this is what I want to hear from you. You are all young people and interesting people that have ideas that I want you to learn to shape. And this is the start. I also want you to post 2 thesis statements from the reading on page 32 and 33. And make sure you review and read the posts of other people. One of the great things about an online class is that you get the chance to look at other people's work. You get to look over the shoulder. Now, when you're in a regular class, do you get to see all the things handed in? No, absolutely not. And in this class, you won't get to see all of the things handed in, but there will be occasions in which you can look at other people's work before you actually turn your own work in, or your own work in to me. So you get a chance to not only see the mistakes that other people make, but also see where you admire their writing, where you think that they've accomplished something that's interesting that you might want to reflect upon in your own work. That would be awesome, and that would also be helpful. So look around the boards. Don't just click on, write your stuff, and click off. If at all possible, do as much as you can to find a kind of, and I know you're not going to really connect with people because it's very hard to do so in the modern world, but find a connection to other people's writing. See if you can use some of their methods and their end results to kind of inform your own end results. What are you looking to do? What are you looking to accomplish? And other people will help you with that. Introduce yourself through song is the other weekly assignment that's due on June 25th, and I do not expect you to sing, but I do want you to attach a song or a link to a YouTube video and have it be something that introduces you, that kind of defines you. What kind of important connection do you have with the music? I don't want to just hear about how you enjoy a certain type of music. Tell me an actual song and what made it important to you. And that would be great. Now, explain the connections in 2 or 3 sentences. That's just a short paragraph, basically. And then when you are done with the writing, you're not still completed. You have to go and actually record yourself talking about your favorite part of the song. This is an effort to try to get you to reach out and actually have a kind of personal connection with other students in the class. Again, I'm big on that because I believe that if you really care about other people and you start finding yourself interested in other people's work, you will stick with the class much better and you will work a little bit harder on your own work to impress the people that you like. I know it's a small peer community, but I still love to see it when people actually begin to enjoy looking at the thoughts or understanding the thoughts of another student in class. And you can tell sometimes when someone is looking and commenting on another person's work, they're doing so from the standpoint of admiration. And what a cool thing is that when someone admires what you do. Anyway, then I'd like you to make certain you comment on at least 3 other students' posts. Not just, yeah, that's great, but get to know somebody. Tell them that you know something about their personal reaction to their song or to the music that they've posted. Maybe there's something there that will help you find something interesting where you did not know before you'd read the person's post. Before you'd read them, you hadn't found anything interesting in the music of, let's say, Arcade Fire. And then after you hear about Arcade Fire from someone who is obviously an Arcade Fire fan or fanatic, you all of a sudden find some kind of interesting part of the way the lyrics are structured, or the kind of message that comes out of their music, or even just the grooviness of it. Yes, I'm from the 70s, so I say grooviness more than probably anyone other than other people from the 70s. Anyway, you hear what I'm saying, and I hope that it will help you get through this assignment. Last thing, you need to post a key assignment, and that key assignment is you with your books. As I said in the key assignment, if there was one semester where I did not make people post themselves with the learning materials required, and I found out that a few people just never acquired the required books, and that is hard, because if I am talking to you about lessons that are in a book and you never read that book, or you never even have access to that book, it's very easy to mistake and fall behind. And I hate it when a student falls behind just for the fact that they don't have access to learning materials. I really I hate to see that. I hate to see that as an instructor, and I just want to see you succeed. I mean, let's face it. It's 8 weeks. It's summer. We're doing this out of the fact that it fits into our schedule, I hope, but I hope the investigation opens up some new understandings in you, some new interests that you can follow at the end of the class. And so let's shoot as high as we can for organizing your thoughts around interesting writing principles, about things that you really care about, and let's see if we can get through this 8-week class and truly benefit as we move forward. Because all this organization, all of the way you present your ideas, you can use this writing formula to present all of your thoughts in most of the classes you take in college. Because organization, support, and analysis are almost always welcome, no matter what class you're actually taking. So that is it for this week. I know you're saying, that's all? I know. It's a little bit to do, but I hope that you get through it without too many bruises on you, and that you actually get to know some of the students and start getting some enjoyment out of just the test of writing. It's not something we do every week, but it's something we're going to do every week in class. We're going to have to start getting to reading on the book. That will be next week. It'll be pages 1 through 60 in Pleasure of My Company. So if you want to get ahead, go ahead. Start thinking about that right now. And from the hills above Castaic, this is Professor Gifford signing off.